Hello, welcome to a special video. This one is going to be where I talk about video game stories and certain video games. So first I'm going to talk about Judgment's story, since I just did a review, so spoiler alert. The story, as I said in my review, follows Baird, Cole, Sophia, and Paddock, and how they are being put on trial for disobeying orders or whatever. And let me tell you, when I first heard that story, when I was, when I saw it in trailers and all of that, that was a really cool idea. And especially that it was a prequel and it takes place in the beginning of the Locust War, and I was really interested in that because I really felt that gave these people a lot of ideas on how to make this story very well narrated, have a really strong narrative and scale and sense, and that is just not there. So I mean, the majority of the story is told in flashbacks, and to me, flashbacks are just they're hit and miss. I don't really care for flashback stories. I think that they're pretty they're just a simple way to have a framework for a story. But yeah, so like you're trying to find out why Baird is in this situation, and when you get to the ending, I think the ending was the biggest slap to the face. Because this is what happens: they use a light mass missile, and their commanding officer tells them, "Oh, that weapon is for this purpose," and blah blah blah. And he pretty much tells Baird at the end, you're not gonna be a lieutenant anymore. So it was pretty much a slap on the wrist for it. And at first I was like, that was kind of eh. But then I started thinking, in Gears of War 1, Marcus Phoenix was also trialed, for treason and all that stuff, and he was thrown in prison, actually punished, for trying to save his dad. Like, he disobeyed orders to try to save his dad in his research. So, this is where I started getting issues with the story. One soldier, Baird, takes a missile, a weapon, if you will, and disobeys orders to use that weapon. And he gets a slap on the wrist for it, and, whatever. Marcus tries to save his dad and his research, and he gets put to jail. Does that make any sense? I mean, to me, that's just the weirdest, stupidest kind of punishment system. But whatever, I digress. But yeah, like the ending was just very bland. Like, it didn't really have a sense of anything. It was just very lukewarm, and it just didn't really do anything. And the final boss didn't even help the narrative as well. Like, you don't know who Karn was. You don't know what made him important. All you just know that he led a group of locusts. Well, General Ram led locusts, but you know who the fuck he was, and you wanted him dead. Karn you don't know much about, and the one thing that also gets under my skin was they kept building up Karn as this badass locust, and oh man, this guy, no one can take him down, only special weapons can or whatever, and they kept building him up as some badass. And the final boss was just him on a Reaver. Oh man, that's so challenging. And it's funny. I liked that. I was like, that was a pretty lame boss fight. And you look at in Gears of War 1, the final boss was General Ram. That was a fucking hard boss fight. I had trouble getting through that boss fight. I had to get a friend to help me with that boss fight, because there was Krill. There was this guy couldn't be taken down easily. You had to find a way to get to the Turrican just to have a chance. And then in Gears of War 3's Ram's Shadow, that final boss fight was very satisfying because you had this stake of who Ram was, and he had to be stopped. While Karn, it was just like, okay, he's on a Reaver, okay, shoot the Reaver down, okay, that's it. And it was just very, very bland, and it was just not a good boss fight at all. It felt really flat on its face. Granted, it's not as bad as Gears of War 2's Lambent Brumac, but this was pretty bad. I didn't feel a sense of challenge. I felt that the Locust actually gave the Locust grubs and drones gave me more of a challenge than Karn. I shouldn't be feeling that at a final boss. So that's it for this little powwow talk, whatever you want to call it.